Good afternoon, I'm Dana Foster and you're watching Valley Community News. It's December 22nd and it's minus 23. Let's take a look into our news. The Equality Project has a lot to offer for the community that are in need, whether it's financial or social. The Equality Project is all about people helping people. So this Christmas season, you don't have to be alone. The center will be open on December 25th from noon to 2 p.m. If you're looking to help out, there is a list on Facebook for people to purchase items. Also, they accept cash donations. You can go to their website at theequalityproject.ca. If you're in need of a doctor over the holidays, physicians at the Ashcroft Urgent and Primary Care will be on site December 24th and 31st and all day on January 1st. Virtual doctors are available during the week from 9 to 12 at noon, and the hardworking nurses will also be available daily. On January 21st, the Ashcroft RCMP and the fire department will be once again facing off in the hockey game in support of the local charity, the Honor Ranch, for their annual family-friendly head-to-head charity Guns N' Hoses hockey match. The event will take place at the Drylands Arena in Ashcroft and will include prize competitions. The Ashcroft Firefighter Association is accepting donations on the behalf of the Honor Ranch. Those willing and wishing to donate can do so by e-transfer to Ashcroft Firefighters Association at gmail.com. The Honor Ranch provides mental health support for first responders and military personnel across Canada. They support those who serve our communities. If you are wanting to donate, you can also donate through the Honor Ranch website by entering Ashcroft in the dedication field. Today, we speak with Ashcroft Mayor Barbara Roden. And we're now joined with the mayor of the Ashcroft Village, Mayor Roden. Thank you so much for joining us with it being so close to Christmas and absolutely freezing out there. I appreciate your time.
Thank you for inviting me to be here today.
So are you, first off, are you keeping warm in this, are we suddenly no longer the desert? Are we living in the Arctic?
Well, we were still in the desert, but no, I think everyone's looking forward to the weekend, to Christmas, not just because of Christmas, but because it's supposed to be warmer.
I hope so. I definitely hope so. So I just wanted to chat with you to see, we're wrapping up the year. You are now once again reelected into your mayor's seat. What are some of the highlights that the Ashcroft Village has seen in the 2022 year?
Oh, 2022. Well, very unsexy thing for most people, but we did get a $1.3 million grant to build a new lift station for our sewage treatment system, and that had been on the Public Works crew's wants list for a very long time. It had been identified as a critical piece of infrastructure that needed updating, so we were very, very pleased to get the grant to cover the entire cost of building a new one, and that work is, I think, pretty much complete except for a few tiny little details. So that was a big highlight that a lot of people probably didn't even notice. Another highlight was being able to start work on the hot tub at the pool. That's a project that's been on our wish list for many years now. And we got a grant to cover about 3/4 of the cost of that project. And we are fingers crossed that when the pool opens in May, the hot tub will open as well.
Now that is really exciting. Does that mean we'll have late night hot tub parties at the pool?
It depends on what the staff wants to do. I know a lot of people really appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's a social thing, absolutely, for a lot of people to be able to go and sit there, relax, and then just chat with other people.
Yeah. All right. So just talking about, just some of the maintenance. I know maintenance was a topic at last week's council, especially when it comes to many of the artwork and installations, the mosaics that Ashcroft is so famous for. How does the village intend to keep the local art pieces looking fresh?
Well, we're hoping to be able to work with the artists who were responsible for many of them, Marina Papeas and Daniel Collette. Um, we're so, first of all, we're so blessed to have them in our community and to have had them not only construct or create so many beautiful mosaics, but teach so many other people in the community to do them. A lot of people probably don't realize that several of the mosaics around town, which they enjoy so much, were created by people who learned from Marina and Daniel and then took that knowledge and created their own beautiful mosaics. And the village wants to make sure that the ones that we have continue to look good. Any artwork of any kind needs preservation. You don't just create it and then leave it and say, okay, we're done. So, looking forward to trying to develop a maintenance plan to make sure that they are around to be enjoyed for a very long time.
Yes, definitely. I believe that Daniel proposed a training program. Is that something that the village would look at funding, or is that going to be something that perhaps the community get together and organize?
Well, the village will be considering their request for some funding, to, an annual sort of maintenance budget, and part of it of their proposal that I particularly liked. I can't speak for all of council, but I did like the fact that they are looking at succession planning, if you will. That is training more people and possibly involving different groups in the community, specifically seniors and youth. The first mosaics that went up in Ashcroft were at Ashcroft, what was then Ashcroft Secondary School, and they were built or created with the assistance of students at the school. And I'd like to see that continue because not only is that creating that
Yeah.
succession planning, but it's introducing more people to the art of glass mosaics and whether they continue it as a hobby or whether it's something that they go into, as design, perhaps go on to somewhere like Emily Carr, um, even just to enjoy it for the rest of their lives. I think anything arts related, if youth and children get involved with it when they're
Sorry, one
young.
moment. Sorry, one moment. No, out now. No. I said 5 minutes. Sorry about that. Babysitter's gone. So we were just talking about, I was letting you discuss the plan with the school.
Yeah, I think anytime you can get youth and children involved in art, whether it's the glass mosaics or whether it's theater through raps or whether it's the choir or the handbell choir, even if it's not something they go on to do professionally or even continue to participate in as they get older, it's something that they'll appreciate as they'll get older. So they'll go to live theater, they'll go to concerts, because they have that appreciation that was created when they were young.
All right. Now, also, Christmas 2022 finally is seeing some movement happening. How was the Christmas train, and how was some of the Christmas events in the village this holiday season? We were actually able to get out and about.
Well, it was wonderful. This is our first kind of quote unquote normal Christmas, probably since 2019. And so the sense I was getting was that people were very glad to be out and about. There were so many events from Christmas markets and events like the holiday train last Friday, which was fantastic to see. People love the holiday train. I like the fact it gets here when it's dark, so we get the full effect of the lights as it comes into town and as it sits there. CP has done such a fantastic job raising money and awareness about food banks across Canada. And of course, our own food bank benefits from the holiday train. But it's just a wonderful festive event. And then the concert from the Sage Sound Singers and the Shine On Singers Children's Choir on Saturday. There were there must have been close to 200 people at the two performances between them, which was, again, fantastic. Last year, drastically reduced audience because of COVID. This year, people were just hungry to get out there, enjoy the season, and be with other people and catch up with people and share that holiday spirit.
Did we get any numbers in from the holiday train as to how much was raised? Do you
I
know?
haven't heard yet. I know in
Yeah.
Kamloops they raised about $40,000 and several hundred pounds of food. I haven't been
Sure.
able to check in with Trish at the Eat Fry Society here, but plan to do that and just see how we did. It was certainly a lot of people there.
That sounds great. So when we're looking into the 2023 year, what are some of the projects left over from the 2022 year that will continue to be focusing? So I guess the question is, what are some of the priorities for the village for 2023?
Well, we've got a few projects which are in various stages of completion. The hot tub project obviously is a big one. We have plans for the parks, for the Heritage Park on Railway, and for the Mesa Park up on the Mesa. We've got some ideas about what we might like to do there, but they're in very, very early stages now. That's going to be up to council. We're going to be having a strategic planning meeting early in the new year to figure out what are the priorities of this council. What do we want to focus on? What are the projects that we want to move forward? Obviously, things that are already in progress keep on going, but what do we want to add now to the list? We just have to be careful. I'm sure everyone on council has about 5 or 6 things that they would like to see us move ahead on, and especially in today's climate with inflation, with supply chain issues, we have to be careful about what we decide to move forward on. But that's going to be a very interesting discussion, and I'm looking forward to some exciting projects coming out of it.
Now, if people do want to, community members want to put in their questions or inputs, I know that's often a question from community members. How can the community be a part of it? What is the process for people to add some comments to that strategic plan?
We're always open. I mean, 365 days a year. If people have ideas for things they would like to see in the community, we're always open to hearing about them. The budget discussions start about this time of year and continue into March, April. So if you have an idea in July for something that you would like to see go ahead in the village, or something you would like to see us focus on, we're open to that suggestion anytime it gets added to a list of what we discussed during the budget sessions. It'll also get added to the list of what we discuss at the strategic planning sessions. And then depending on what comes out of strategic planning, there's an opportunity on working groups for members of the public to get involved. And we're looking for people who have ideas, who have expertise in different fields, to help guide us and to help us to move forward with a variety of projects.
Absolutely. I know that trails and sidewalks are always a topic of discussion. Is what's happening with the trails plan, and do you think that putting in sidewalks for the community is where I believe it was Gloria Mertens who brought in a question about sidewalks being put into the community. Is that something that the village would be looking at, or can we afford that?
We always have a wish list, if you will, of things that we would like to see. Sidewalks are obviously up there. Sidewalks are extremely expensive to build. Yeah. We have to be very careful. You don't just go in and lay some concrete or asphalt and call it a day. They have to be engineered. They have to be designed. You have to take into account who is using it, what buildings are on or join the sidewalk, what kind of access are they looking for. So absolutely, sidewalks are something that we would love to see more of. The trails, we know a lot of people very, very interested in our trails master plan. We're looking forward to getting that finalized, and then again with the strategic planning session, looking at where that fits on our list of things that we want to do. And again, we'd be looking for input from the community, people who have experience with trails, who have things that they'd like to offer, and look at what trails we need, what ones we want, and what we can afford is what it comes down to.
Yeah. Well, okay. So we often hear people saying, "Well, we want this or we want that," but then when we come down to the actual meetings, there's obviously key players in our community that are always at the meetings. But how do you think that we can really maybe just not talk about our ideas, but put our ideas into action and start showing up? How would you encourage community members to to start getting together?
I think obviously watching the meetings just to see what the council is doing, what we're talking about. Public meetings obviously are great, and we will be scheduling those as we move ahead with the strategic planning and see what exactly it is that we're going to do. I would encourage people if they are interested in a particular project, such as trails, for example, or if they have an idea or ideas for what they'd like to see in the Mesa Park, get together with two or three or four other people and put your ideas down on paper and get them to us, and just be in touch with us about how you can be part of the process.
All right. Now, you also you carry a lot of hats in the community. What are some of the other projects that you are looking at, or if you can even speak to some of the other titles that you hold? Where are you in the community? Because you do seem to be in a lot of different places, which I think is great for our community.
Well, one of the things you do as mayor, I mean, people, when you're on council, people see you at council meetings and they think, all right, well, that's what you do. You do a lot of advocacy behind the scenes as well. I was talking to someone at BC Hydro the other day about something that I'd like to see. Talking to Interior Health, they're very good about keeping me in the loop about what's happening with the urgent and primary care center, developments there, physicians, etc. So you're doing a lot of behind the scenes work. My other big hat right now is chair of the Thompson Nicola Regional District. I was elected chair
Yeah.
for a year,
Congratulations.
so that goes from October or November to November next year. So again, that's a learning process for me. The TNRD is a huge, huge region with lots of different areas with different needs and wants. And so right now with a new board, it's a question of finding out, again, we're going to be going through that strategic planning process. I'm going to be doing a lot of strategic planning and finding out, excuse me, as a board, what are our priorities with the TNRD? What do we need to be focusing on, and what do we want to see and do there? So as chair, you're kind of the I don't know, the MC, if you will, the one
Yeah.
who's keeping it all together.
Yeah,
So
that's good. Good point.
liaising with staff and just talking about, things that are coming up and issues that arise, and
Yeah.
hopefully meetings can be quiet and we can, just move forward as a group. It's been a tough couple of years at the TNRD. I was there for the last 4 years, and there were some tough times there. So I'm looking forward to us all coming together as a group and moving forward to get things done.
All right. Now, before I let you go, there's always this confusion around what is happening with the healthcare system. Can you help guide our viewers to kind of explain what is going on with the? I know you mentioned that you are in close contact with Interior Health. How can we explain to the community sort of what the projects are and how they break down?
Well, of course, we've always had the medical clinic. So, people are familiar with doctors' clinics. You need to get a prescription. You go see your family doctor, or you've got COPD, which we know is an issue with a lot of people in the community. You have high blood pressure. So you make those appointments with your family doctor at the medical clinic, and you go in there for your appointment, or you do it virtually, depending on how it's working this right now. And then we always had an emergency department. And I think most people recognized emergency departments as, oh my goodness, my son fell off his bike and broke his arm, or, weekend warriors out in the garden and they've cut themselves, they need stitches. So you go to the emergency department because it is an emergency. Well, now we've got a lot of people who don't have, excuse me, don't have that family doctor piece anymore. And so what Interior Health and the healthcare system is doing in BC is they're instituting urgent and primary care centers. So it's urgent care, which is for those things that crop up suddenly and unexpectedly, and primary care, which is what you would get from your family physician, but it's for people who don't have one. So you had your medical clinic and you had your emergency care. And now you've got the urgent and primary care centers. So you've got the urgent care piece, which is people who have that sudden emergent issue that needs to be dealt with unexpectedly. And you've got primary care, which is what you're accustomed to getting from your medical clinic when you go see your doctor. But it's for people who don't have a family doctor. And unfortunately, there are a lot of them, not just in this area, but throughout the province and throughout Canada. I mean, this is an issue across the country. So the UPCC is meant to deal with some of those emergent issues that come up unexpectedly, and also to help the people who don't have that family physician that they can pick up their phone and call the medical clinic and say, I want to see Dr. Smith, who's my family doctor. And the reports I'm hearing about the UPCC here in Ashcroft is that it is working well. It is obviously not going to solve 100% of the problems that we have here with healthcare provision, but it's better than what we had before. And
Yeah.
from talking to Interior Health, they plan to keep expanding it, hire more personnel. We have doctors coming next year, so I think it's a work in progress, but it's certainly a step in the right direction.
I would agree. I would say that we have seen a lot of positive changes within our small community. I think there's a lot of successes here. Now, when it comes to hiring people, we do have that housing issue. I remember, I think it was like a couple years ago, wasn't the village looking at bringing in a corporate hotel? Whatever happened with, yeah.
We did a study that showed
Oh.
that Ashcroft would support a hotel, and we did the study so that we could prove to anyone who was interested in building a hotel here that yes, there is a market case to be made for building a hotel here. And so we have been giving that out. We've been distributing it to developers and letting people know that yes, if you want to build a hotel and come to Ashcroft, because we not only need and want one, we could definitely support one. And here's the study to prove it. But housing, obviously, huge issue. We are constantly talking to developers and encouraging them to come here. You hear the horror stories about the Lower Mainland where, projects get hung up in development hell for years because of red tape and regulations and bylaws and zoning, etc. And it's very frustrating when we hear those stories, because that's not what it's like in a lot of small communities. A lot of small places like Ashcroft have really worked hard to streamline that development process so that when people come to build here, they're not hung up with red tape.
Right.
And so we're constantly talking to people to encourage them to come here. But again, it comes back to those supply chain issues, labor shortages. There's so much work for builders and developers and contractors in the big cities. It can be very difficult to attract them to the small communities.
I definitely can see the benefits of having some communities, especially with our new eco depot. There's lots of things happening in our community, so I hope that we can continue to encourage builders and contractors to come into our community.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you so much again for taking the time so close to Christmas. I wish you and your family a very Merry Christmas, and thank you so much. We look forward to chatting with you again in the new year.
All right. Well, thank you. Merry Christmas, Dana, and Happy New Year, and talk to you in 2023.
You betcha. Thanks so much.
Okay.
It's now time to check out our weather report. There is extreme cold warning in effect for North and South Thompson's, Shuswap, North and Central Okanagan, and Fraser Canyon, including Lillooet and South Lytton. There's bitterly cold temperatures and a wind chill near -35, and that's going to continue today. A very cold Arctic air mass has settled over the region. Those wind chill values again are at or below -35. And it will continue, but will taper off later on this afternoon in most of the region. So make sure that you are dressed warmly and that you are making sure that everybody around you is also dressed warmly. And you are also to note that if it's too cold for you outside, well, then it's too cold for your pet to stay outside. Environment Canada is reminding you to be aware of these extreme cold weather warnings, and that again, those wind chill and those low temperatures can cause frostbite and hypothermia. In Lytton today, a mix of sun and cloud, becoming cloudy this afternoon. We're going to see the wind gusting up to 50 kilometers per hour, a high of -21. A wind chill of -38. This morning we saw it being -32, and then this afternoon or tonight we'll see periods of snow beginning in this evening. You're going to see that wind gusting up to 40 kilometers per hour, and then hitting -18, but it will be -32 with that wind chill and frostbite. On a Friday in Lytton, there will be 2 centimeters of snowfall. That wind will be a bit gusty up there. You'll see some nice sunshine coming up in the morning with a high of -14 and a wind chill of -28, and then a risk of frostbite. There will be periods of snow and a low of -14 in the evening. On the Friday, for Saturday, you're going to see night clouds at night, a 40% chance of flurries. And then on Sunday, Christmas Day, periods of snow, a high of -2 and a low of -2. In Ashcroft and Cache Creek, weather for today, a mix of sun and cloud. Temperature is going to be gusting up to 15 kilometers per hour, a wind chill of -34. There is that risk of frostbite. Tonight, cloudy, snow beginning near midnight, a 2 to 4 centimeter snowfall. Overnight, that temperature is going to be rising to -18, and then a wind chill of -33 and a risk of frostbite. For Friday, December 23rd, there's snow, but that will end off in the afternoon. You're going to see a high of -14 and a wind chill of -23. In the morning, though, we're going to see a -23. That risk of frostbite will also still be there in the evening. 70% chance of flurries with a low of -14. For Saturday, you're going to see periods of snow, a low of -4, and then on Christmas Day, periods of snow with a high of -1 and snow in the evening with a low of -1. So you'll have that yay white Christmas day. A little wet, a mix of sun and cloud today, becoming cloudy later on this afternoon. That wind chill is -31. And then in the morning, we're going to see -26 with a risk of a frostbite in that evening. For tonight, cloudy, periods of snow beginning this evening, a 2 centimeter snowfall. That temperature is going to be rising to -18. And then by morning, a wind chill of -26. This evening, or in the evening on the Thursday, that's what it's going to look like. And then on the way till Friday, you're going to see a high of -14 with that wind chill near -20. And then in the evening, periods of snow with a low of -14. For Saturday, on Christmas Eve, there'll be snow with a high of -1. And then on Christmas Eve, you'll see cloudy with a 60% chance of flurries and a low of -3. On Christmas Day, we will see periods of snow and a high of -2, periods of snow and a low of -2. Over in Clinton for today, mainly sunny, increasing cloudiness in the afternoon. And then you'll see a wind chill of -42. And then also this morning, we had that wind chill of -30. So really cold there. Not going to change too much, though, for Clinton. Cloudy tonight. And then there will be snow. A 2 to 4 centimeter snowfall is expected. Winds will be gusting up to 40 kilometers per hour. And that wind chill is going to be sticking around -29, with it being 35 overnight. And there is that risk of frostbite. For Friday, you'll see some clouds, a 60% chance of flurries, and then more snow. We're going to see 10 centimeters of snow, -17, a wind chill of -34. And then in the morning, you'll see -27 and a risk of frostbite. For the evening, low of -17. Then over on to Saturday, December, there will be the 24th on that Christmas Eve day, a high of -4. And then in the afternoon, a low of -7. Christmas Day, a mix of sun and cloud, a 40% chance of flurries, a high of -4, and then in the evening, a 40% chance of showers and a low of -4. That is your weather report for the Gold Country region. Let's take a look into our roads. Roads on highways are not looking that great. We know that there is going to be utility work during Jackass Mountain, and that's going to happen south of Lytton and all the way until the end of today. There will be single lane alternating traffic, so just make sure that you are slowing down on these highways. On Highway 1, watch out for slippery sections between Blue Lake Road and Golden Donald Upper Road. That's 2 kilometers north of Jackass Mountain Summit to Golden Compact. Or to Golden, there is compact snow. On Highway 1 in both directions, there is going to be ditching near Nikomin River, and Highway 8, that's 15 kilometers east of Lytton, and that's from 7 a.m. to 4, and that's going to be running Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. There is single lane alternating traffic, so you can expect some minor delays, and that's going to be happening well into the new year. On Highway 12, there is utility work between the start of Highway 12 and Lytton Ferry Road, and that is happening until the 31st of January, so well into the 2023 year. On Highway 12, you can watch out for slippery sections between the start of Highway 12 and the end of Highway 12. There is going to be compact snow for 60 kilometers on that highway. On Highway 97, compact snow between Merritt and Highland Valley Copper Mine, that is south of Ashcroft. On Highway 97C, watch out for slippery sections between Highland Valley Copper Mine and the end of Highway 97 for 40 kilometers. If you have an accident to report or you would like to share a video, you can email us at news@valleytv.ca. Just be sure that you are slowing down and watching and checking drivebc.ca for up-to-date road information. So there you go. Have a wonderful, safe holiday on the roads. But again, just slow down and be prepared. It's now time for the rural perspective. On today's segment, we talk to Indigenous franchise owner Elijah Mack Sterling. Our intern, Valerie Diamond, has more.
Wait, who white? Hello everyone. Valerie Diamond runs Quest. My name is Valerie Diamond, and I am the LJI intern for Valley News Channel. Today I would love to introduce you to Elijah Mack Sterling. Hello Elijah.
Hello.
For our viewers, may you provide some background information on who you are and what your current successes are?
Yeah, well, my name is Elijah Mack. I come from the Nukhalk Nation of Bellacoola, BC. I currently live in Kamloops, British Columbia, but I grew up in Merritt, BC, and that's kind of like where I made my roots and foundation. From there, I managed and worked at Kakuli Cafe, which now I own. And this year I opened up my second location in Kamloops, so that's why I currently reside here. I'm also the acting president for the BC Association of Aboriginal Friendship Centers. I'm a huge youth advocate for urban Indigenous people, and I'm just here for a good time, I guess.
Alrighty, wonderful. Congratulations on your second grand opening in Kamloops, BC.
Thank you.
I have a few questions, of course, and the first one is, what affirmative actions did you take, and which organizations did you speak with to buy Kakuli Cafe?
Well, Kakuli Cafe is founded and run by, the franchise is run by Sharon Bond and her husband Darren Hogg. And yeah, so they founded Kukuli in 2009, which they opened up their first location in West Bank First Nations. Then in 2014, they opened up their second location, which is in Merritt. And so I just dealt with them directly when buying and acquiring the Merritt location. So it's just like Sharon Bond and her husband uh, that I partnered with in buying the franchise.
Of course. Okay. So Sharon and her partner are still the owners of the Kukuli Cafe franchise, and you
Yeah.
own 2 branches.
Yeah, so we actually opened up 2 locations this year. We opened up on I think it's the Okanagan College campus in Kelowna.
Oh,
So we
wow.
opened that in September, yeah. So we are at, I own 2 of the 4 now locations that we operate today.
Alrighty. That's a pretty big deal for an Indigenous entrepreneur or business owner.
Yeah, it keeps us busy for sure.
I don't doubt that. Okay. So, what measures did you take to keep Kukuli Cafe afloat during the COVID pandemic?
Oh, I feel like that's kind of a loaded question.
Yes.
It was there was a lot. When I first entered the pandemic, we had to, well, like I had to lay off all my staff first of all because we didn't have enough business to keep to keep my staff employed. So for I believe it was about 6 weeks, 6 weeks I was working alone, and then a couple weeks in, my mother would come in and she would give me a hand with that making bannock and opening up the restaurant. So a lot of it was like just putting in a lot of hours into the business itself, and then some huge challenges, you know, were with like every restriction that was put in place by uh, the public health, the PHO, Public Health Organization. So, you know, every time they would implement a new restriction, it always impacted small businesses. Whether it be, you know, how many people can dine in your restaurant, whether you can have dine-in or not. You know, are you allowed to have reusable utensils? Does it have to be single use? You know, like
Okay.
how many hours can you operate? So there was just like so many different regulations and rules that we had to abide by. So it was like every 6 weeks, it was just like something new, and this went on for about a year and a half.
That sounds like an incredibly difficult journey. It's, yeah, thank you for sharing. Okay.
Of course.
Yes. This one, how did you and your business handle Indigenous discrimination from moment to opening to now?
Kukuli Cafe, we are the first Indigenous cuisine franchise in Canada. And listening to Sharon Bond share some stories, you know, there was nothing at the time of her opening that was out there as like an Indigenous cuisine. So she was kind of trailblazing for Indigenous entrepreneurs in like the food industry. So, you know, of course, it comes with challenges being Indigenous, color of our skin, you know, our mother language, and you know, so every community that we face, no matter where we are or what we're doing, there's always going to be discrimination. But I think that's like the most valuable part of being in this industry is that we get to influence how we present ourselves as Indigenous people. We get to, you know, we have food sovereignty, we have our culture and our history and our music, and we open our doors essentially to all of the nation, and we get to choose how we show who we are. So when it comes to like discrimination and racism in the workplace, you know, it just doesn't exist.
Alrighty, thank you. Regarding the food sovereignty, I read on your website what bannock used to be made from pre-colonization. Uh, may I read it to you?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, quote. This type of bread was made with indigenous local ingredients from the earth, such as bitter root, berries, sunflower root, wild potatoes, wild celery, and sweetened with Saskatoon berries and huckleberries. As I have to say, that sounds like really delicious. And I was wondering, like, have you ever practiced making bannock with these traditional ingredients? Or would you ever consider it? And what would that?
Yeah, so I've done a lot of traveling around the globe and mainly Canada, and I got to experience a lot of different cultures and how they would prepare their foods. And within every culture, somebody adds their own kind of niche to their bannock, and some places have added these herbs and spices and natural ingredients. I personally have never done it myself and experienced it that way, but I have visited many communities that have done so. But the biggest one that we do in our restaurant is we use Saskatoon berries with the bannock. We do it with drinks, and we have all of our food products.
Delicious, by the way. Highly recommended. And yeah, and I personally believe it's really I agree it's really important to have our representation in indigenous food, like in industry, because being indigenous, I like to eat out. I like to visit our local city and have something to eat. And bannock is medicine. Like, don't panic, we have bannock. It's a very relevant quote. And one final question, sorry, I heard you're hosting in your Merritt location. You and your mother are hosting your 6th annual Christmas dinner?
Yeah, so 6 years ago, my mom and I decided that on Christmas Day we have nothing to do. Like, as a family, we would get up early because Dad was going to work early, and we would open gifts at like 5 or 6 in the morning before he goes to work, and then that was kind of Christmas, and it was over. So we didn't really, celebrate, I guess, or we never. It was just kind of like open gifts and then kind of go back to bed. So 6 years ago, my mom and I were like, okay, well, we called up Sharon. We're like, Sharon, can we use your establishment to cook breakfast and maybe serve coffee? Just gonna open it up, and mainly to the people that don't have homes, or the people that can't afford a hot meal, or there's a lot of families out there that don't celebrate, or that they don't have family around. So that a lot of times on Christmas Day you're just alone. There's no stores open, there's no malls open, so you can't go socialize. So we decided that we're going to open the doors, and we're just going to serve anyone that wants to come in and enjoy a cup of coffee and maybe have a pancake breakfast with just eggs and bacon. And so we did that 6 years ago, and the first year we served 35 plates in 5 or 6 years, and that was such an amazing feeling, especially to do with your family. It doesn't get any better than that. And now, last year, on our 5th year, we served, I believe it was about 120 breakfasts and nearly 300 dinners. So it's growing, and people are traveling and people are enjoying, and it's truly phenomenal. So this year we'll be doing it again. I don't want to break a tradition for the 6th year, that we're honoring this. And this year, actually, she's going to be looking after my Merritt location, doing the breakfast part, and I'm going to open up my Kamloops location and handle it over here for the morning, and then I'll travel to Merritt later that evening, and then I'll do a dinner with the family there.
Oh, that's impeccable. And what supplies, or do people need to bring anything when they come to attend?
So all throughout the year, people are asking because we've kind of made it our foundation of like the Mac family tradition, I call it. And people are asking like, can I volunteer? Can I donate? And a lot of people will just end up donating cash, and with that, I just go and buy all the supplies. Like yesterday, I made an announcement that we are accepting donations, and it was a little bit challenging finding turkeys this year, and just the cost of everything is going up. So it's like maybe there's people out there that are looking to donate that would like to. So I believe I'm up to like 2 turkeys now. I have a ham, I have potatoes, and I had some donations that came in yesterday, so I went and bought like pancake mix and bacon. And so, we just kind of supply everything. So we do eggs, bacon, sausages, hash browns, pancakes for the morning, and then we do like coffee and cream or tea for the morning as well. And then in the evening, we usually just we'll serve like hot chocolate or juice or punch, and then we'll do like a turkey dinner with potatoes, and we just do everything.
Wow, that's a very long list. Very homey.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, it's just like it's one day a year where like everything shuts down and there's nothing to do. So we were like, you know what? Let's just make a day of it.
Oh, very impressive. Well, Cook Stam, thank you for this wonderful interview. I hope you have a great day and many successes to you. Happy holidays.
Thank you so much.
Cook Stetchop. Thank you everyone for watching our interview with Elijah Mack Sterling, Indigenous entrepreneur and owner of two Kukuli cafes located in Marin and Kamloops. To donate supplies or groceries for their free Christmas dinner, please go to either location or check their website, kukulicafe.com, for more contact information via phone or email. Thank you for watching.
You've been watching Valley Community Channel News. I'm your host, Dana Foster. Have a wonderful holiday. We'll be back on December 27th on Tuesday. So again, be safe out there and don't forget to focus on the good.